They look to really get the ball to him again today. Miami doesn't have a great matchup for Mark Williams. We'll see if he can go to work again.
All right, Holly, thank you for Mike Krzyzewski. He has coached the Blue Devils to 15 ACC Tournament championships. And he has always loved this event, whenever, wherever it is. And Duke wins the opening tip. Trevor Keels is going to bring it over. And one thing you'll notice right away is Duke is bigger, Jay, just about, well, not just about, at every spot on the floor.
They have a size advantage and a strength advantage, but Miami is quick at every spot. With Sam Wartenberg playing the 5, they can draw Mark Williams away from the basket on their offensive end.
The early 3 won't go down for Wendell Moore Jr. coming off a career-high 26 against Syracuse yesterday. Out of bounds in another possession, though, for Duke.
And Mark Williams going over the top to try to grab that rebound. He had 16 rebounds in the game against Syracuse, 7 on the offensive end. You have to box him out every time a shot goes up.
Yeah, some guys go over the back, as you said, though. He goes over the top.
It's so long, and he can really get off the floor.
Banchero, the kick to the corner. A.J. Griffin with a good look. Weak side rebound. Missing is Moore, but Duke's got it again. Williams one-on-one with Sam Wartenberg, left it short, and finally Miami gets the ball.
Even though Mark Williams is much bigger and longer, Wartenberg does a pretty good job of keeping his body between the offensive player and the basket.
Charlie Moore is so important in everything that Miami does. Wartenberg, who can shoot it from out there, a stretch 5, misses the 3.
I think you're going to see a lot of that pick and pop action, and Wartenberg had 5 assists in that game at Cameron Indoor Stadium. He is a good passer, so they want to cut off him.
Switch. Wartenberg now on Banchero. Griffin, another 3, and Duke on the board.
And how good has he been in the second half of this season? None better than the last 4 minutes against Virginia. 10 points in a row.
Injuries in high school, late in high school, and again in October, so a slow start to this year, but it's really come on big in the second half. Charlie Moore, who Jim Larinaga said to us pregame when we asked him how important is he to you, he said he's as important to us as Chris Paul was to Wake Forest. That's how important Charlie Moore has been in his one and only year in Coral Gables.
Tried to get a quick post up for Wendell Moore Jr. being guarded by Charlie Moore.
Moore long on the 3. Banchero takes it away from Miller and slams it home.
Jordan Miller had inside position, but Banchero just too strong. It's not enough to get a body on him. You got to keep a body on him.
If you're Duke, don't you want Banchero to play bully ball tonight, no matter who's guarding him?
You want him to play bully ball every night. You know, you don't want Banchero to be a finesse player, which he can be. You want him to be a power player with that skill level, size, and strength. You're going to see a lot of that middle third action, I think, in this game for Miami.
Another missed 3. And down the rebound is Miller. Cam McGusty with the last bucket for Miami, a first-team All-ACC performer this year for the Hurricanes, 17.5 points per game. And nobody in the paint wearing orange. A 5-out offense. They only get in there on dribble penetration. You'll rarely, if ever, see a post-up, but you will see some threes. Charlie Moore gives him the lead.
Charlie Moore coming off a solid game in his last outing at 15 points against Boston College, 6 assists, and he is looking to score in this one.
Off the fingertips of Williams, who tries to keep it alive. It belongs to the Canes.
Miami does a great job of converging on the ball, and they do it to get steals.
McGusty, and what a nice start for Miami, up 6 already.
And Miami is firing, and the ball is moving. They spread the floor, and the ball moves faster than the defense can rotate. Just have an arm wrapped around Banchero there. You're not going to get that steal without fouling going to the sideline side.
Jim Larinaga, the winningest coach in Miami history, 7-8 in his career, 7-7 as the Miami coach against Duke, including a win at Cameron back in January, 76-74.
Jim Larinaga just talking to the bench about Jordan Miller getting his arm around Banchero, just put an arm bar on him. He always told the bench that. The guys can't hear you out there.
Well, look at the hands by Charlie Moore. What a pest he is. Keels, cuts, misses. And down with the rebound, Miller.
And Wartenberg looked like he got hit in the back. He's struggling getting up the court a little bit.
Isaiah Wong, who can score in so many different ways, averaging better than 15 a game on the season. McGusty sizing up Williams, misses the three.
I think you'd rather drive that than settle for the shot.
Boy, look at Wendell Moore Jr. going end to end in the blink of an eye.
That's the problem with McGusty taking that shot, is it tends to lead to transition. And Duke, as we have mentioned so many times this year, has 4 different guys that grab a rebound. They can bring it up by themselves. They don't need to make an outlet.
Miller, and the lefty reverses it up and in with the right.
You want to try to isolate individual defenders. You know, Duke has not been a team that's forced a ton of turnovers in ACC play. Good head.
Wow. Wardenberg just picks the pocket of Moore, and Miami's lead is 8.
Miami will trap ball screens, and they don't just trap it to keep the handler from turning the corner. They'll trap it to take the ball from you, and you have to be strong with it. You have to be careful not to pick up your dribble in that trap as well. Just try to back dribble or pass it out.
The Hurricanes, a very experienced team, 3 sixth-year seniors in the starting lineup. And a turnover committed by Duke. How about the start for the 4 seed, the Miami Hurricanes?
Whether it's a hard hedge or a trap, Sam Wardenberg is a smart player. Here's Cam McGusty in the corner, a little late getting to him. Drills yet another.
Mike Krzyzewski has made a couple of changes coming out of the timeout as Jeremy Roach and Theo John have taken the place of AJ Griffin is after, excuse me, of Trevor Keels and Mark Williams. And boy, how good was Roach in the win over Syracuse, especially in the second half. He hit 5 threes in the game, scored 19 points.
Yeah, he was fantastic. And that really, I thought, started at Virginia with the job he did coming off the bench on Kihei Clark. Remember, Clark had like 18 points in the first half, and Roach really kind of shut him off, and he had 15 big points in a low possession game to help Duke win that one.
Same 5 out of the timeout for Miami. A deflection leads to another turnover. Already the 3rd committed by Duke.
Charlie Moore made a really good decision there. He had Isaiah Wong on the right in that little semi-break after the turnover. And that's something he might have turned over last year, the year before, but he's made such good decisions this year.
McGusty, a nice kick. And Anthony Walker's 3 rattles in. The sophomore from Baltimore extends the lead.
Well, Miami's so good at spreading you out, isolating you. And when they drive hard to force help. And when they force help, they can kick it out, and you're always kicking it to somebody on the floor. They can do something with it.
Crossover by Paolo Banchero, and he flips it up and in with the left hand.
Well, he is so skilled. And when he decides just a straight line drive, he used a little crossover there, but when he doesn't play with it and just goes, who's going to get in the way of that? It's like trying to stop a truck going downhill.
Isaiah Wong off to McGusty, who just ran into Banchero and turned it over. And Banchero, a strong drive, and count the bucket 2.
Where you drive into him, and that was like driving into a brick wall. All of a sudden, McGusty, the ball's gone, and Isaiah Wong just can't stop him. That was just strength. Look at the size difference there. He just got a little bit of the ball, fouled him, and still he's able to get the and one. That's a great play by Paolo Banchero. Paolo Banchero is the first Seattle McDonald's All-American at Duke since Quinn Snyder in 1985. That's going back a ways.
Now at the point for Miami, Bensley Joseph, a freshman from Arlington, Mass. As Charlie Moore has gone to the bench, Wardenberg has checked back in.
Theo John on Wong.
Crossover, step back. That's one of Isaiah Wong's favorite shots, but it won't go down this time. Out of bounds still to the Hurricanes, despite the Duke bench protesting the call.
I mean, we're at a different angle, obviously, the official, but I thought it went off a Duke player. I thought it was Griffin got it. Nope. Yeah, I thought he hit it. Well, maybe he didn't.
Miami retains possession.
But the official is right there.
Walker.
That's smart. They had Jeremy Roach on him rather than try to drive him back down into the post. Just shoot over him. This was a really smart play.
Banchero driving on Wardenberg. Roach open in the corner, but now a foul by Joseph as he closed out on him and kind of gave him a little inadvertent hip check.
Yeah, he was sideways with him, and that's not legal guarding position. So Roach, he's smart just to go into his body, pick up the foul. Wardenberg did a nice job stopping that drive, but that's clearly a foul.
Eight-point lead Miami in the first of two semifinals tonight for the ACC Tournament here in Brooklyn. Carolina, Virginia Tech still to come. Roach turns the corner, tries to look off a defender, got blocked by Wardenberg, but somehow got it to John, who draws a foul.
And Wardenberg did such a good job to stay vertical and block the shot on the Roach drive. He picked up the foul on the save. A little high ball screen and pop, and then Charlie Moore 28 feet from the basket. If you have a hand down, he's just going to go ahead and shoot it. He's already knocked down 2 threes. But they can also spread you out, and they pass the ball effectively. Now it's 2-on-1 on the backside. Great pass by Wardenberg to get it to McGusty in the corner for the easy 3. There's J.J. Redick, the all-time leading scorer at Duke, just retired from a great career in the NBA, and has a fabulous podcast called The Old Man and the Three. Have you heard it? It's great.
You keep telling me I gotta subscribe.
It's not the old man and the assist. It's the old man and the 3.
Oh, I see. Theo John at the line, knocks down a free throw. Well, J.J. Redick could fill it up.
Oh,
wow.
He filled it up a lot in this ACC tournament over the years. He's going to town on that popcorn, too.
He is. Couple of free throws for John. Duke within 6.
So Duke with a little full court pressure here. 1-2-2.
And Miami gets it over. A lot of playmakers, a lot of ball handlers, and a lot of guys they can run offense through. Well, Wardenberg looked like he had a shot, didn't take it. Shot clock at 5.
There's that middle ball screen action.
Got to get a shot off. Wardenberg doesn't know it.
Part of that was the 1-2-2 3/4 court pressure that took time off the clock. So all of a sudden Miami gets down. They got to start their offense with 16 seconds on the clock. That can be a rhythm disruptor. And not necessarily pressing to get a steal or to speed it up. You can press it to slow him down a little bit.
And there's another Duke turnover, their 5th of the game already. That is one of the keys, as Jay mentioned, to the success of the Hurricanes. McGusty.
Ooh, wow. A lot of contact on that.
And a timeout is called by McGusty to retain possession. Theo John will be credited with a block. 10:58 to go in the 4th. A ton of close games. 21 by single digits, 17 1 or 2 possession games. A win at Duke. They blew out Carolina, beat Wake twice. Now they've got a couple of troubling losses as well, but they appear to be safely in the field. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Field, right?
It's not an issue.
So they are playing to get in to improve their seeding and to get into the ACC Tournament Championship game, which this program won under Jim Larinaga back in 2013.
And with all these close games, this is an older team with a lot of 6-year seniors. I mean, this is Charlie Moore's 150th college game. That's remarkable.
Split between Cal, Kansas, DePaul, and now Miami. Moore, tough shot.
He was fantastic in that game against Syracuse. At 26 points, a career high, 8 assists. He's just a do-it-all player and has been all year long. And on the ACC all-defensive team, as is Charlie Moore.
Speaking of Charlie Moore, Holly Rose got more.
What a strange and wonderful journey in basketball for Charlie Moore. He started out his career at California, but when the head coach left, so did he. Went to Kansas, but just couldn't get on the floor for the Jayhawks. Then he went to DePaul. His coach was fired, and when he went into the transfer portal after DePaul, Jim Larrañaga said they saw his name in the portal and they'd recruited him in high school. He said, I just immediately texted him because I never delete a phone number. It was still in my phone. Said, hey, what about Miami? And Charlie said, hey, sounds great. And here he is having a great season for the Hurricanes.
So if anybody's watching and Jim Larrañaga has your number, he still has your number. Don't you worry. He never deletes anybody's number from his phone. How about that blocked shot by Mark Williams? Jordan Miller, was it Miller? I think gave him 3 shot fakes and still couldn't get the shot over Williams, the premier shot blocker in the conference.
Really nice pass by Charlie Moore. Yeah, Jim Larrañaga won't delete your number if you can play. If you can't play,
he might
hit the delete button.
He might block you, but he won't delete your number. Boy, just a real gentleman, isn't he? A great player at Providence back in the day in the early 70s, and has had a wonderful career, closing in on 700 wins. Another block.
Jim Larrañaga is a thinker. I mean, he was telling us he and his staff looked at every team and their makeup in the ACC. And realized, we can't match up physically, so we're going to have to change the way we play. And so they play this 5-out style. He's great friends with Davidson's Bob McKillop. And he basically said, whenever you see daylight, run to daylight. And passing, cutting, their ability to drive it. Miami does a great job of isolating defenders. They do a great job with ball screens. But they've got so many playmakers out on the floor, they're really hard to guard.
Well, it's a good example of a coach adapting his style to his personnel, as opposed to adapting his personnel to his favorite style. Jump ball goes to Williams. He'll win most of those, and Banchero cleans it up.
Isaiah Wong felt like he had to go for that ball, but when he did, if you're not going to get it, it opens up that lane for Williams. If he doesn't finish it, Banchero is right there.
Moore over Williams.
That's it. Shooting over the Empire State Building.
Joey Baker into the game, sitting in the corner, looking for a 3. Baker, the senior, a 41% three-point shooter on the season for the Blue Devils. And the Duke fans now making their presence felt here in Brooklyn, and that'll only get them louder.
Just that little handoff action isolates Banchero on the right elbow, and he's just able to get the matchup he wants and go for it. He's so strong. It almost doesn't matter who he gets on him. He can take him because he's so much bigger and stronger than whomever might switch off onto him. So all of a sudden you got Jordan Miller switched off, and Miller's tall and long, but he doesn't have the bulk of Banchero. He just backs him down and goes right over him.
Yeah, Creighton's been such a great rhythm. 52% shooting from the field. They've done an outstanding job of sharing the basketball and defensively locked in on Providence.
Very low-scoring first half in Indy.
Yeah, neither team has made a three-point shot in the first half, but boy, Wisconsin, they have found no rhythm. 24% shooting for the Badgers in the first half.
Dan?
All right, guys, thank you very much. The Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship. Their semifinals are underway over on ESPN2. Kansas with a 7-point lead on TCU. Last we saw Texas Tech. What a great year the Red Raiders have had. They'll take on Oklahoma 9:30 Eastern time. You got the ACC here on ESPN, the Big 12 over on ESPN2, and then tomorrow the Big 12 championship game will lead into the ACC championship game. A great Saturday evening of college hoops coming your way during Champ Week.
I have to think that TCU punched their ticket to game. The Horned Frogs. That's not the most inspiring mascot, do you think? The Horned Frogs.
I'm going to get your opinion on the Hokie Bird later on during our second game tonight as Mark Williams ties the game.
Well, Williams does so many things, one of which is running the floor. He just straight line runs to the rim and is such a presence on both ends of the court.
Big day for a couple of bubble teams. Indiana won again. They beat Illinois. How about the win Texas A&M picked up today over Auburn? And speaking of Virginia Tech, they're a bubble team, so they've got an opportunity in front of them tonight in the second semifinal against North Carolina.
Isaiah Wong had a wide open shot off that penetration by Charlie Moore. He's got to start knocking some of those shots down. He's been a little quiet thus far, and he can really score.
Let's go Duke. The chant here at the Barclays Center as the Blue Devils have come back to tie it. Banchero's first miss of the game, now 5 for 6.
It was his first shot outside of 2 feet. He's been just bullying Miami thus far in the ballgame. Got a switch now.
Gave it up. Got it back. Launches. Charlie Moore for 3.
Not even Mark Williams can block a shot that far out. Charlie Moore just always has this look on his face. He's not afraid of anything.
His third 3 of the game already. He's now got 201 threes in his collegiate career. Joey Baker tries to answer but can't. Boy, that hit about 4 different players, and it's Miami ball.
You're going back to the mascot thing just for a second on the Horned Frogs. Take a look at who this ball went out on. Hit the side of the backboard and then ricocheted off. Mark Williams thought it went off of Miller. But whenever I can't figure out who's going to win a game in the tournament bracket, which is quite often, I just go with the tougher mascot. Like, I don't think a Horned Frog would have a chance against a Bengal Tiger, especially if the game's played in Asia.
Well, that's a fair point. No wonder he's the most. Well, you don't know how I'm going to finish the sentence. I'm only halfway through right now.
Boy, what another great trap by Sam Wardenberg. He just jumps from behind that ball screen, and Miami gets a trap, just a reach in from the backside. I think it was McGusty, but just a really good job by Wardenberg. It's kind of a hedge, but they turned it into a trap, a hard hedge that turns into a trap.
As Jim Larinaga told us before the game, they know what they are, they know what they're not, and they really try to play to their strengths and hide their deficiencies. Roach for 3. And the loose ball down to Wardenberg. Miami's got numbers. And Wong's got a chance for 3.
Well, Isaiah Wong just kept his eyes on everybody else. That wound up being essentially a 3 or 4 on 1 with Wendell Moore Jr. the only one back. Duke a little bit slow getting back, reacting to Wardenberg getting control of the ball. Look how he's essentially looking off. Gives a little fake and Moore commits. Got the foul and the finish. Maybe that'll get Isaiah Wong going in this game because they need his scoring.
Don't forget to check out our alternate angle of today's game, the New York Life Above the Rim Cam, streaming live on the ESPN app. Our director Mike Lloyd loves his toys, and the Above the Rim Cam is one of his toys as Griffin lays it in to make it a 5-point game.
From the second half on yesterday against Syracuse, Duke has been much more focused on attacking the paint.
An alert play there by Jordan Miller on the weak side to lay it back in.
I think everybody expected that to hit the rim except for Miller, and the offensive rebounder has more of an opportunity to follow the flight of the ball. The defense is looking more to block out.
Boy, again, another deflection. They like to get in the passing lanes, don't they?
Well, they'll jump out to get steals. And so that's why you have to use pass fakes. Get them to jump, then cut back door. But a pass fake can be really effective against a really aggressive defense.
And again, a very experienced team, Miami, as Duke turns it over again. And that is the 6th turnover committed by the Blue Devils.
But those kind of turnovers always get the coach on the back of the chair. When things are going well, they sit up. When something like that happens, that's when you hit the back of the chair.
Duke right now projected by Joe Lunardi as a 2 seed. You would think they still have the opportunity to play themselves up to the 1 line if they could win the ACC tournament. But over the years, historically, when we've talked to Mike Krzyzewski during this week, he is much more laser focused on winning this tournament, putting up a banner, what it means to win the ACC over, moving up a seed line for the NCAA tournament.
Well, everything takes care of itself. I mean, you play for a championship. It's more important. And I know we get wrapped up in all this bracketology stuff. We wind up talking about the last teams in instead of talking more about the best teams. But you focus on winning a conference championship, then all of a sudden your seed takes care of itself.
68 and 23 in his career in the ACC tournament. Duke has played in 21 ACC tournament championship games under Mike Krzyzewski, and they have won 15 of them.
Pretty remarkable, isn't it?
15 ACC tournament titles. This is 42nd year as Duke head coach. Inside 4 minutes to go. Good defense by Wong. Griffin's got to give it up. Banchero over the top to Williams. Williams working really hard.
Boy, great play by Williams. Just barely got that off. It looks like they're going to take a look at replay. I thought he got it off before the shot clock went to 0.
So they'll have a look at it coinciding with the under 4 timeout. Ooh, that's close.
It is close.
On ESPN, and they reviewed this shot by Williams and decided he did not get it off in time.
I mean, that was fingertip stuff.
Yeah.
That it might, if he clipped his nails or something, it would have been good. That was about as close as it gets.
Mike Krzyzewski thought he was fouled on the play. So no basket for Williams and an 8-point lead for Miami. Again, a team that defeated Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium back in January.
And Cam McGusty just tried to cut back Tor off the overplay. I think you're going to see a lot more of that.
Ball on the string right now for Charlie Moore. Momentarily lost it, got it to Wong. Got it to Wardenberg. But an offensive foul called on Wong.
During the timeout, Dan, we got a research update. As you see, Trevor Keels just stepping in here after the ball was released. Just stood in there to take the charge. But our crack correspondent, Reese Davis, informed me that horned frogs can shoot blood and poison out of their eyes.
So he wants you to rethink your choice of a Bengal tiger taking down a horned frog.
I still think the Bengal tiger could win before the poison took effect.
Wardenberg. Good block out there by Banchero, freeing up the rebound for Griffin.
I didn't know that Reese Davis was now the Marlon Perkins of ESPN.
The drive and the finish for Griffin. It's a 6-point game.
Boy, Duke looks awfully good when they're putting the ball on the deck and driving. Attacking the paint. That's been a focus in this first half.
And I think this is one of the officials, Jamie Luckey, signaling a timeout for some reason. I don't think this came from Jim Larrañaga. They were alongside one another when Luckey blew the whistle. Maybe there's a clock situation they've got to look at.
They might be checking the horned frog research.
That would seem like a flagrant one to be firing poison out of your eyes. At the
no, that's a flagrant two.
That's a flagrant two, yeah. And it appears that maybe watch Williams and Wardenberg right there. Left elbow of Williams into the jaw of Wardenberg. And not assessing anything. A quick look at the monitor and play on. Both of these teams getting the double bye into the quarterfinals. So for each of them, just their second game of the tournament.
The double bye is essentially old school. Back when the league was 8 teams, everybody played. It was a quarter, semi, and the final. Played 3 games in 3 days. Really tough if you don't get that double bye to play 4.
And back in the day, too, it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. A lot of afternoon games.
Yeah, you didn't start till Friday. Nice pass. Oh, McGusty couldn't knock it down.
Just the presence of Mark Williams, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
Griffin for 3. Yes.
He can really shoot it.
He's into double figures to get Duke back within 3.
He's basically shooting 48-49% from 3. Just give him a little bit of space. He's got terrific range.
Wardenberg drives and got fouled by Williams.
Really good drive by Wardenberg. First a drive kick, then a drive of the closeout, trying to take on Mark Williams when he has to come out on the perimeter. And that's really what Miami can do. They can force Williams away from the basket. Just didn't have an angle and came down over his arms. But A.J. Griffin just dribbles behind his back. Charlie Moore giving him a little bit of space, and he just drills it. And that guy can really shoot it.
Let's bring in Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, A.J. Griffin feeling better today, clearly more effective on the court with 10 points here in the first half. Coach K said after the game yesterday he was dealing with a little bit of a stomach bug that had gone through the team. I did check with Duke officials, and nobody else has been infected and is sick today, but it had impacted some of the players and coaches yesterday. It's like A.J. Griffin is over that.
Miami's missing a lot of free throws.
They're 1 for 5 from the line. Another deflection, but it bounces into the hands of Keels. Griffin's open again.
Boy, you take a gamble. McGusty tried to get a steal. It took him out of bounds by the corner. A little sidestep. And A.J. Griffin, he sees a big basket all the time, but it seems even bigger right now for him. A really good job by Wendell Moore Jr. to guard Charlie Moore. Wouldn't let him go backdoor. Wouldn't let him catch it.
Moore, a terrific defender, got a real size advantage on Charlie Moore as well. Miller with the shot clock a factor. Tough shot, and it will go.
What a big-time shot.
Griffin looking for his right now, and why not?
Just playing with such a tremendous amount of confidence.
Got 15.
I would say that stomach bug is feeling a little better.
5 seconds between the game clock and the shot clock. And a heavily pro-Duke crowd here in Brooklyn. Moore the penetration, and a beautiful find to Miller for 2.
Great hesitation move by Charlie Moore, but it's not just the hesitation, it's the burst after he slows down. And he goes from slow to fast as well as any guard in the ACC. Comes off the ball screen, hesitates, and just blows by Mark Williams. Great play by Charlie Moore.
My name is Austin James. As a musician living with diabetes, finger sticks can be a real challenge. That's why I use the Freestyle Libre 2 system. With a painless 1-second scan, I know my glucose numbers without finger sticks. Now I'm managing my diabetes better, and I've lowered my A1C from 8.2 to 6.7.
Take the mystery out of managing your diabetes and lower your A1C. Now you know. Try it for free at freestylelibre.us.
Tonight at 11:30 Eastern Time to break down the New York Life ACC Tournament semifinals, and with post-game interviews, it'll be the ACC Nothing But Net crew. Also a look ahead to tomorrow's championship game over on ACC Network and the ESPN app. They're a fun bunch, huh?
They're great. But you have to be a most outstanding player of the NCAA tournament to get on that crew. The trophies those guys carry with them, it's amazing.
6 seconds in the half. Roach. Oh, somehow that got over the rim and in.
How did that go in?
I don't know. That looked like it defied physics a little bit.
Looked like it hit the bottom of the rim and rolled over. He took some contact there and still finished the play with that right hand. He goes right into Joseph, had the angle, took a bump. Wow, that's amazing.
Let's go to Holly Rowe with Jim Larinaga.
Well, Coach, you've had a lot of great spacing that's allowed your guards to penetrate. What do you think of that attack so far?
I couldn't hear you, Holly. There's a lot of noise from the both bands in this place.
Your spacing has been Shire's point was we've got to do a better job controlling the ball, and that means folks starting on defense. He said we're not doing a good job making them feel us on defense. We've got to be more physical, be more aggressive. He said then the other way, we've got to keep the ball from being turned over. Too many points off turnovers. They're blowing up our ball screens, and we're not doing a good job playing through contact. So bottom line, control the ball both offensively and defensively.
Miller from the baseline. Jay, tell us a little bit more about blowing up ball screens.
Well, when you have when they're coming out, like Sam Wardenberg was hedging off and they were trapping. They're also blowing up dribble handoffs at times where you get between your man and the handoff, make it difficult for it to happen. But oftentimes blowing up ball screens indicates a trap.
Griffin baseline over Wardenberg, too strong, and Miller down with the rebound.
What a pass.
Moore, how about the vision and how about the dish to McGusty?
And not charging. I mean, Charlie Moore knew exactly where the defender was, trying to get in front of him so he might charge into him, and just caught Cam McGusty streaking down the right side of the floor.
Wendell Moore Jr. with a nice look. Boy, the way this one is going, you don't want to help off of A.J. Griffin.
Well, the idea is when you're on the weak side, the further you are away from the ball, the more you can help. But A.J. Griffin is one guy you don't want to help off of, because when you help off, you're kind of in no man's land. You weren't really helping on that drive by Wendell Moore Jr., but you certainly have to move on the flight of the ball. See how you come in? And that's a long closeout. And if you're not going on airtime on the flight of the ball, you're not going to get there in time.
Isaiah Wong could not recover in time, and Griffin continues to light it up. He's got 18. McGusty turns the corner, and he's held by Griffin.
And Wardenberg, because Mark Williams isn't coming out there to guard, once he gives the ball up, he can just go set a little ball screen or rub screen and help free up that drive.
Boy, a very quick, deep three there by Charlie Moore. Wendell Moore Jr. How pretty was that?
He's got a lot of game and does it at both ends of the floor. There's not a box that he hasn't checked this year.
Second team All ACC, had a triple-double early in the year against Army, a huge game against Gonzaga as well. And outstanding against Syracuse a night ago. Kameron McGusty gets Miami back within 2.
And really smart by McGusty. It's easy to say, hard to do, but he got that shot off quickly before the shot blocker Mark Williams could react to it. It'll take more time, and he's going to wipe that away.
Not a whole lot Isaiah Wong to do down there with Mark Williams.
Well, when you're out top trying to trap that ball screen, you put 2 on the ball. That means you're going to have 4 on 3 on the backside. I think I have the math right there. But somebody's going to have to pick up Mark Williams when he rolls.
Yeah, and if it's not Wardenberg, because he was up top, it's going to be somebody who's a lot smaller than Mark Williams.
And that's what Duke needs to do a better job of, is guarding the ball, because once Charlie Moore gets past you by just a little bit, it brings help and he can drop it off.
That alley-oop attempt almost went in. Moore. Can they get Wong going? Rebound Williams.
He's just a monster rebounder. Those 16 boards he had against Syracuse were huge. 7 of them, if I remember right, were on the offensive end.
Third team All ACC and a finalist for the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year award as well.
There's so much contact.
This feels like it's Banchero's first touch of the second half, and finally the foul is called.
Look how far out he had to go. I mean, there's arm bars on you all game long on both ends of the floor.
Miami foul. Number 3, Charlie Moore is first.
That's on Charlie Moore, just his first. Miami again, they won this tournament in 2013, entered the league in 2004. Banchero trying to use that size advantage. Instead finds Williams, and Wardenberg rejects him the first time, but fouls him the second.
Boy, what a block by Sam Wardenberg. He does a really good job of walling up, but you block a shot at that close a range, oftentimes it's the offensive player that's going to get it back. That's a big time block by Wardenberg.
How much did they miss him last year? Suffered a foot injury at the beginning of the season. Didn't play all year.
He was out 10 months. Jim Larrañaga told you, me, and Holly Rowe a really interesting story about Wardenberg. Is 10 months out. They decided they wanted to give him some scouting work. So they basically had him watch film and prepare scouting reports of the Miami team and others. And Jim Larrañaga said when he got the first report, he was told it was NBA quality. And he really feels like it helped Wardenberg, without being able to play, helped him become a better player. I thought that was really interesting.
So he's coming to this year with more of an understanding of what he should do, what others should do. He's more vocal out on the court. So put the injury year to good use. McGusty. It's a long two for McGusty to get Miami back within a point.
Yeah, I think Miami needs to do more of that, where Wardenberg is in the action and then sets a little ball screen and try to engage Mark Williams out top, especially in the middle third of the floor where it's harder to help because you haven't established help side. Good double by Wardenberg to get the ball out of Griffin's hands.
10 on the shot clock. Banchero for three. Offensive rebound by Moore. Oh, wide open is Griffin. And a break for the Hurricanes there is the best shooter on the floor. That as good a look as he can ever hope to have. Blocked by Moore. Wendell Moore Jr. at the other end on Charlie Moore. And in transition, the three won't go down. Boy, up and down they go as now Miami looks to reclaim the lead.
But Duke had two offensive rebounders there, but the ball hit the rim again. Otherwise, they would have had a stick back.
An air ball from McGusty to take us to the first media timeout of the second half. We got a good one going on.
And everybody converges on the ball. They're not just there, they're there with active hands. They get a deflection, it turns into offense. Now Duke gets a little pin-in screen up top from Theo John. You wind up having a little high-low here. And Sam Wardenberg is in front. You just lob that ball up to the top of the square, and the offensive player can hold the position, but give Wardenberg credit for how active he's been. And turnovers tonight, 8 for Duke thus far, and that was a big factor in the first game. 17 Duke turnovers in that game. It was plus 12 for Miami. Miami only had 5 turnovers at Cameron Indoor Stadium.
And Charlie Moore had all by himself had 7 steals in that game. Banchero gives it up to Griffin, who's already got 18, puts it on the deck and draws the foul here on Jordan Miller.
All set up by the shot fake. With the ball reversal, Miller having to close out. That little shot fake just got him off balance. But Jordan Miller's had a terrific game. He's got 8 rebounds, 12 points, 3 steals already.
And a pretty good moment last night in the win over Boston College as he had the game-winning layup. Moore into some traffic, fortunate to get out of there, finds Roach. And Miller, the weak side rebound.
His 9th. Miami's similar to Duke, and you can rip and run. So many guys can grab a rebound without making an outlet and just take it up themselves and initiate.
Miller creates a little space, lost it on the way up, and it's out of bounds off him.
Yeah, you better be strong in this game. There's a lot of arms coming at you, body contact. But the players thus far have finished through it.
Wagga Poplar is into the game for Miami at number 55, a 6'5" freshman from Philadelphia. Didn't play at all in the first half.
We're going with a smaller lineup. Banchero now at the 5.
Roach can't finish it. Banchero can.
Well, you come over and block a shot that opens up the offensive glass, and Banchero, good offensive rebounder, gets a number of stickbacks.
And he's just by far the biggest guy on the court right now. Walker's 6'9". He's only an inch shorter than Banchero, but he's about 40 pounds lighter than him.
Yeah, doesn't have that bulk. Well, he's a good skip passing team.
McGusty, count the bucket.
Well, you can skip it across, and that wasn't a lob skip or a lollipop. That was a bullet. Now all of a sudden you have to recover out to a really good driver. That left-handed drive, strong with it, got fouled by Wendell Moore Jr. and finished the play.
So Cam McGusty, a couple of years at Oklahoma, his 3rd year with Miami, as we mentioned in the first half. First team all ACC, 17.5 points per game, almost 5 rebounds per game, 2.5 assists per game. He did a little bit of everything for Miami.
And Miami's missed a ton of free throws. It's not like either team's gotten to the line a lot, but Miami's missing their opportunities.
1 for 6 for the Hurricanes, who are 75% of the season as a team. Banchero, wow, that's a big time move.
And a great job on the double team of just back dribbling and passing out of it. Well, that's a idea of having an advantage on the backside, but you want to get the trap where they can't see out of it.
Good rate. Yep, Poplar cuts and got inadvertently tripped, so a foul coming against Griffin.
So when Trevor Keels gets doubled here, the trap comes to him off the ball screen, and he just back dribbles and splits it, and is able to see Banchero wide open underneath. You've got to bring that trap where it can't be split toward the basket. If you throw it out, you want to throw it out back, not to the hoop.
You know, it's funny, Wendell Moore Jr. is listed in the Duke game notes as a forward and is a finalist for the Julius Erving Award as the best small forward in college basketball. But he's been, more than anybody else on their team, the guy initiating the offense. I mean, he's playing a guard position, really. And he's Mike Krzyzewski doesn't call guys point guard, shooting guard, that sort of thing. But he's been as big a playmaker as they have on the team.
Well, essentially, he did play point guard early on in the season. He initiates offense quite a bit.
Williams sticking with it, and it's the largest lead of the game for the Blue Devils.
Well, he does such a good job of rolling to the basket and rolls hard. That draws the defense. They're going to have to be picked up by a smaller player. Miami needs a score here. It's a key point in the game.
And they'll get it. A bullet pass from Charlie Moore to Cam McGusty.
And Mike Krzyzewski hit the back of his chair again on that one. Just how does he get that wide open?
Moore now with 5 assists in the game to go with his 9 points. Banchero over Miller. Well, if you're Miller, you're worried he's going to try to back you down or drive by you, and then it's a jumper right in your face. Moore. Banchero, another rebound.
Duke's doing work on the glass on both ends of the floor. Jim Larinaga thought that Banchero traveled.
Now Roach will slow it down. Not for long, though. He kind of lulled everybody to sleep, didn't he? And then exploded to the basket.
Everybody thought he was just going to do a little pitch dribble handoff, but he kept it. It's a great read of the defense by Jeremy Roach.
And Jim Larinaga wants a timeout.
The dribble handoff. He saw an opening, cupped it, and took it all the way to the rim. Great read by Jeremy Roach.
Booking the Hurricanes and the Blue Devils. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, Holly Rowe. In the first of 2 semifinals. This one between Miami and Duke. With Virginia Tech and North Carolina still to come about 25 minutes after the conclusion of this game. Hurricanes need a bucket. Wow, Williams with a couple of blocks. Jim Larinaga hollering the second one was a goaltend, but they'll get the basket by McGusty.
It might have been, but it was a heck of an effort by Mark Williams. Boy, that was a huge bucket for Miami. They really needed that one.
Moore's fouled on the perimeter.
Number 11, Jordan Miller, third personal.
Number 3 on Jordan Miller, and we will step aside again. 10:51 to go. Duke leading by 5. Heels are in the house. Armando Bacon and company.
We have to have some of our best focus of the season. It is a time for you to believe in yourself and trust your teammates. Then he encouraged them to get on the boards. They are getting crushed on the glass right now, and that's giving Duke too many second chance points.
Going into a 2-3 zone out of that timeout, try to protect the paint. They've been getting hurt on that ball screen action when they're trying to double it. Duke has been passing out of it effectively.
Moore challenges Wardenberg and banks it home.
And Moore went right into his body and still finished the play. Body seeking.
Moore with 9 points, 6 rebounds in this game. The reverse for Jordan Miller, who is having himself a night. He's up to 14 and 10 now.
What a quick first step by Jordan Miller. He's left-handed, just took that left-handed drive, went to the other side of the rim. That was beautiful.
Now the coach going very deep into his bench tonight. Boy, nobody coming across to the baseline to help and stop Roach.
Well, it was because you had two guys going after the ball, jumping out to try to trap that ball screen action out top. So they're just throwing out of it really quickly. And Miami may need to adjust. Well, one, you can do it better. But two, you can adjust. They could just switch it, but that might give them some matchups they don't like.
Miller again. Boy, he has become the go-to guy along with Kameron McGusty right now for the Hurricanes.
And just so smart going against the shot blocker to go to the other side of the rim so that Williams can't get to it. So there's a hedge and recover instead of a trap on the ball screen out top.
Jump stop, Wendell Moore Jr. Keels for three. Banchero keeps it alive, but knocked out of bounds by Wendell Moore Jr. and it belongs to Miami.
Jordan Miller so quick with that first step, just gets the baseline and goes right. Look how he uses the rim. That way Williams can't get to it without getting his hand caught in the rim. Really smart play and super quick by Jordan Miller. Double-double already, 16 points, 10 rebounds.
Wow. Moore again. That's the second very quick, very deep three that he has taken in this game.
Jim Larrañaga doesn't look too upset over it because that's a shot that Charlie Moore has made and can make.
Miami's got to find a way to get that guy going. Isaiah Wong, he is such a talented offensive player. Just 1 for 7, 3 points. Yet the Hurricanes are still well within striking distance.
Good job by Wong to pick up Mark Williams on that roll while Wardenberg is trying to trap the ball.
Well, look at Wardenberg hedging hard almost out near midcourt. He didn't like that foul call at all.
Well, it was a foul, but it was smart by Jeremy Roach to just blast into it. If you're going to hedge out there, you got to be there already. And watch how he just went right into his chest to pick up that foul.
Number 3 on Wardenberg. A trio of Hurricanes, each with 3 fouls right now. Heels, creates a little space, does not get the roll.
Wardenberg able to tip it away so that Moore could get it.
McGusty rises up again. He's got 21.
Well, he is such a good player, coming off that little curl action on the wing. And instead of just catching it and decking it, he goes right up with that mid-range shot. Mike Krzyzewski wants a timeout.
Miami still hanging right with Duke. 8:17 to go in the second half in what is now a 3-point game.
Cam McGusty was all Big 12 at Oklahoma, first team all ACC this year at Miami. Just gets a little wide pinned down
today, and another great opportunity for them if they can beat Arkansas tomorrow. Griffin gets inside, left it a little bit short, and Miller doing everything for Miami. He and McGusty, the only 2 Hurricanes to score here in the second half. The block and the save, and back come the Blue Devils.
A ton of body contact. But Miller has had a great game. I mean, it's been all Miller and McGusty in the second half for Miami, and for Duke, both Banchero and Griffin have been really efficient. They've combined for 15 of 21 on the game. Good pass.
Williams again. Boy, he never even got a grip on it. He still scored.
And Miller stayed on the ground to try to bother that first shot, but he got knocked under the basket, so couldn't really rebound.
Wong behind the back, step back. Now 1 for 8, and Miller fouled by Banchero.
And Miller grabbed another rebound. Banchero had his back to him when he was shooting the ball, but just a great pass. Inside position, and Miller got knocked under the basket, and it was all Mark Williams on the follow. He's got a good second jump.
Miller from Middleburg, Virginia, a transfer from George Mason. They talked about the 1 for 7.
This is killing Miami in this game.
Two for 8 again for a team that has shot 75% as a group on the season. 4-point game.
We got Banchero on Wong. That's just not the right angle. One dribble over, so you can throw it. Even if he catches it, he's going to the corner. And that's unusual to have that kind of turnover from an experienced player like Wendell Moore Jr.
Again, everybody on the perimeter, 5-out offense. Everybody gets a touch. Moore, little shoulder. Just dipped the shoulder enough into Roach to create the space and then buried the jumper.
Yeah, just a little step back, completely under control. And he plays so low, and he's strong.
And he's crafty, isn't he? 2-point game, 6.5 to go. Banchero the kick. Roach is open for 3. And Miami now can tie or take the lead on this trip.
Fortunate there was some overhelp. And that made a wide open shot for Roach. Just missed it. Charlie Moore, you mentioned, just drops that shoulder just a bit, knocks Roach back to create that space for the short jumper. Analytics say you don't want those mid-range shots, but when you can make them, they're great.
A.J. Griffin just picked up his 3rd foul. McGusty's been hot and stays hot.
Right over Mark Williams. I'm not even sure he could see the basket when he let that go. What a great shot. McGusty has a lot of game. It's like watching an NBA game.
He's got 24 tonight, and Miami is back on top. Wendell Moore Jr. not for long. Duke reclaims the lead.
A tough pull-up jumper. Miami right back at him.
What a swat, though, by Moore, denying Isaiah Wong.
That's his 2nd big block like that.
And what a trip for Moore. A jumper, a block, and a layup. Duke by 3.
A great Euro step by Wendell Moore Jr.
There are a lot of guys out here who have a lot of game. Good defense by Roach. Wardenberg open in the corner to tie it.
Punch, counter punch. What a great game.
7th tie of the night.
Miami switching everything now, and Keel should just drive by.
Wardenberg does a good job. A block called on Charlie Moore.
Miami foul. Number 3, Charlie Moore.
His 2nd bonus for Duke. Talking it over with Tony Henderson, one of the officials, as Jeremy Roach steps to the line for the Blue Devils. 19 points yesterday in the win over Syracuse. Roach 3 for 8, 6 points tonight.
Roach has been a huge factor for Duke, especially over the last 5 or 6 games.
Jim Larinaga before the game said, you know, Duke's a little bit different now than they were when Miami played them way back in the 2nd week of January. Roach is more of a scorer. A.J. Griffin has gotten healthier. He's become a much bigger part of the offense, so more weapons for the Blue Devils now than they had back then.
Really the difference in the game to this point has been the free throw line. And Miami's missed, what, 6 or 7 free throws?
Yeah, they're 2 for 8.
2 for 8.
Still a 2-point game, though. Just over 4.5 to go. Carolina, Virginia Tech still to come. Moore Wong lost it, got it back. A couple of tips, but nothing doing.
Miller was right there for the tip-in.
Keels lays it in. Duke by 4.
Well, that was a big-time fast break. When Mark Williams grabbed the rebound, everybody shot out. Quick outlet, and they were gone.
First points of the night for Trevor Keels. Wow, McGusty almost had the feet come down. Was looking for the foul, didn't get it, and he almost banked it home from the corner, but to no avail.
They jumped into the defense. There was body contact, but the officials probably thought it was offense-initiated contact rather than initiated by the defense. The switch again, now Wardenberg on Keels.
And Wong fouls Banchero before the shot.
That's the problem when you switch, is you're going to get a matchup where you're going to have a smaller player guarding Banchero or Williams, or both.
Jay, how about the sequence Wendell Moore Jr. had a couple of minutes ago?
Another fantastic block. That was his second of the same character. And then gets the ball in the middle of the floor. That's a fabulous Euro step past Jordan Millard for the left-handed finish. And then Mark Williams off the rebound. Quick.
Huge night for Cam McGusty, but it's Trevor Keels and the Blue Devils who have a 4-point lead late in this one. This is all building, of course, to the end of Champ Week and Selection Sunday. And we'll get you started right at 6 o'clock Eastern with each of the guys breaking down the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced. Then on ESPN and ESPN2, it's our March Madness Women's Selection Show. A look at every team in a matchup in every region. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern, even more coverage of both brackets. And as always, you can watch everything streaming live on the ESPN app.
There you go again with that Reese and the guys.
Reese and the guys.
We have names.
What are they? Reese has earned the right.
He has.
To be the front man of the group.
It's just the hair. Miami trying to lift up the Duke defense, and Miami's got 16 assists, only 4 turnovers in this game.
Make it 5.
Trevor Keels took a shot there.
And Miami certainly appears to be safely in the field. They are playing to improve their seed and also to get into the ACC Tournament Championship for just the second time in program history. Banchero driving into the paint, kicks it out to Keels. Rebound Miami.
And Miami really need to score here.
And Jim Larinaga decides he wants a timeout. With 2:29 to go and Duke leading by 4. Duke right now, as we mentioned, probably sitting on the 2-liner, but they're thinking about getting to the final, winning an ACC Tournament Championship as well. And a really close game in January. Miami winning at Cameron, and maybe not surprisingly, a really close game again here tonight.
Yeah, Miami's really good, and they're really good offensively. They've got so many playmakers. They're so hard to guard. You have to think they're going to try to get some action with Wardenberg involved so they can try to get Mark Williams away from the paint, away from the basket. That way they can attack an open lane. Because Williams, even though he hasn't blocked a lot of shots, Wendell Moore Jr.'s blocked 3 shots in this game. But his presence around the rim just makes everything so much more difficult. You have to be so creative to try to get it over him. You know, you're changing shots all the time. And that's not a stat that you keep, but he changes so many shots around the basket.
A quick look at Joe Lunardi's 1 and 2 seeds. Wisconsin just lost to Michigan State, so 3 of the projected top 8 are out of their conference tournaments.
If Duke winds up winning the ACC championship, I think they'll be a 1. The only team that could change that would be Kentucky if they win the SEC title. And Kentucky playing Vanderbilt today after Vanderbilt beat Alabama behind Scottie Pippen Jr. Second year in a row that Scottie Pippen Jr. has led the SEC in scoring. He's a big-time guard.
A little cleanup on the court. Got a little blood on the court right now. We understand. Don't forget another semifinal coming your way about 25 minutes after the end of this one. The 3 seed, the North Carolina Tar Heels, against the 7 seed, the Virginia Tech Hokies. Both schools playing really well, way better than they played earlier in the season. Mike Young, the head coach of the Hokies, watching the last couple of minutes of this one here courtside.
I'm surprised Mike Young doesn't have popcorn. Yeah. He's a huge popcorn guy. But the biggest popcorn guy in the history of the ACC was North Carolina's Bill Guthridge. He was a popcorn connoisseur, especially in high school gyms.
Long. And a foul. Paolo Banchero with the foul, and that'll be the 7th on Duke. So it'll be 1-1 for Wong.
Good drive by Isaiah Wong. He can drive left, he can drive right. Took the contact when he felt that obviously should have gone up, but easy to say. It's hard in the moment because you're not sure you're going to get the call.
Just the floor hard with a backup now for 1-1. Miami's so used to playing in close games. 17 of their 32 games this year have been 1 or 2 possession games, and they've gone 11-6 in those 17.
Yeah, they're experienced, and this is where they live. They live in close games, so they are not fazed by it. The horn set. Good back cut.
A lot of ball pressure being put on right now by the Hurricanes. Shot clock at 6. Banchero.
Wardenberg got him. McGusty was a little bit slow on that switch to recover to Banchero, so Banchero was able to get that position along the low block. See, McGusty's a little bit late, got shot back a little bit, no call, but then Wardenberg got the foul going over the top.
So now the ACC Rookie of the Year, first team All-ACC performer, Paolo Banchero, 74% from the line on the season, misses the first. Three-point game. What's the look Miami's hoping for here?
Well, they've got Wardenberg out top to try to draw Williams away from the bucket.
Now he dives. Wong slips. Gets it back. And a foul. Boy, what a great touch pass on the give and go from Wardenberg.
Well, Wardenberg has 6 or 7 assists in this game. And he had 5 assists against Duke in the first game. Several of them came on back cuts. Just a great individual play, but really smart to get it back to him. When Banchero came over, just went right into his body. Wardenberg is such a high IQ big guy.
Griffin back in for Roach. One more coming for Wong.
You have to think the ball is going to be in Wendell Moore Jr.'s hands. He makes such good decisions.
It starts with Keels bringing it up, getting noisier here in Brooklyn in a one-point game late.
Got the switch. Now McGusty having to guard Banchero down in the post. He's trying to front him and face guard him.
A foul will send Wendell Moore Jr. to the line.
And Miami is doing such a great job guarding the ball, but then Wendell Moore Jr. just in the right corner made a really good cut to the basket to make himself available, and Keels found him. Just got behind the defense, little grab there, raked across his arm by Jordan Miller. Just a really good, smart cut by Wendell Moore Jr.
Number 4 on Miller. First free throw attempts of the night for Wendell Moore Jr.
Wiping the ball off.
Duke got all they could handle for about 38 minutes from Syracuse yesterday. And they've gotten all they can handle for 39 minutes from Miami here tonight. Boy, 2 big free throws.
Gutsy, and he knew it. Shaking his fist right now. He knew how big those were.
Duke by 3 with less than a minute to go in regulation, and one of the reasons why a double-double from Paolo Banchero.
He has rebounded. He's attacked in the post. Early on, he was putting the ball on the deck and just overpowering whatever matchup was on him. Going against Jordan Miller, right past him with the left hand. Paolo Banchero showed a complete game in this one. His rebounding has been really impressive. Just pivoting around the defense, finding open areas, finishing. Hard to believe with that body. He's 18 years old.
A.J. Griffin just 4 yesterday against Syracuse. Banchero 10, each of them with 18 tonight to share the scoring lead. Wendell Moore Jr.'s got 15, and Duke's got a 3-point lead. But Miami's got the ball in a 1-possession game here with just under a minute to go.
Cam McGusty has been the hot hand for Miami. He's got 24. Jordan Miller's had an excellent game as well, but I think you're going to see him look to McGusty. He started the clock before anybody touched it.
So we got to put some time back on, right? Wasn't it at 58 point something? There it is, 58.6. All kinds of shooters on the floor right now for the Hurricanes.
We got Wardenberg out top, so he'll start the action.
McGusty driving. And he traveled. Just a little shuffle of the feet on the jump stop.
Well, that's the presence of Mark Williams. Well, Mark Williams was out top on Wardenberg, but on the drive able to get back to the rim. And you have to think that McGusty heard some footsteps. That's why he walked. Right there to block the shot. He goes up to try to shot fake him up and just shuffled his feet a little bit. You got to give credit for that turnover to the presence of Mark Williams.
McGusty commits a foul. Didn't look like he was.
He wanted to. He tried the first time. The referees didn't give it to him, so he had to do it the second time. A couple seconds went off, but Miami's got to extend this game here. He had the foul. He couldn't get the steal. He tried right there, didn't get it. They didn't give it to him, so he just did it again. There was less contact the second time.
So 2 free throws now for Jeremy Roach. Duke 10 for 13 from the line. Miami 6 for 12, and they had to get hot, make their last 4 to get to 6 to 12. And that's one of the differences in a game that has been extremely close.
Yeah, it's the difference. You know, the free throw line has been the difference.
Left it short. Oh, and it was tipped by Wardenberg. He tried to tip it to one of his teammates, and Banchero just took it away.
Got a foul here. Yeah, Wardenberg, I thought he had the chance to grab it. He was trying to tip it to a teammate, and it went right to Paolo Banchero. Ball was short, and then Wardenberg just tried to tip it, just grab it. But he was trying to hold off Mark Williams with his left arm.
Yeah, had he not grabbed it, Isaiah Wong was right there to grab it. He just tipped it to the wrong place. Walker in for Wong. The lead has grown to 5. Make it 6.
Still want to attack the basket. You're more likely to get a 3 doing that.
Wendell Moore lays it in. 4-point game.
Just allows you to extend the game. Good split of the trap by Wendell Moore Jr. They had him trapped and he split it. He had no choice but to foul.
And another foul on McGusty as Moore goes to the line now for Duke.
Just a really good trap, but it didn't stay together. Didn't stay shoulder to shoulder. And smartly, Wendell Moore Jr. splits it.
Boy, it seems like every single game in which Duke plays, it could be with scoring, it could be with defense, it could be with assists, but Wendell Moore Jr. is always doing significant things to help Duke win.
He's just had a great year. And it's been from the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
He's been their leader in assists, right up there in steals. He's rebounded. And calmly knocks down 4 big free throws late.
Pretty good look. Wardenberg. Wow. And it's down to 3.
Well, you can't leave him open like that. He give up a layup. That's one thing. You can't give up a wide open 3.
That's one of those time and score things, right? Let Charlie Moore have the 2. Don't give Wardenberg the 3.
The issue is no fouls, no threes. And they don't give up a foul, but Paolo Banchero just over helps here. Big shot by Wardenberg. Now the issue is you want to trap right away, but it's got to be a tighter trap. And instead of just fouling, go for the ball. If you foul going for the ball, that's one thing. It gives you an opportunity to get a steal.
Miami using its last timeout. Hokies in the house. Virginia Tech. Keve Aluma, Hunter Couture, and the rest. They have had a really nice year, but again, they are playing some really good basketball right now. 21-12 on the season. They look like the bubble team, and they've got a date with the North Carolina Tar Heels as soon as this one is done.
Some former Wofford Terriers on that team. Yes. Keve Aluma, Storm Murphy. Hunter Couture was recruited to Wofford, but when Mike Young came to Virginia Tech, wound up following him there. Armando Bacot, who's had a spectacular year.
The most double-doubles in Carolina history, 24 of them this season for Bacot, who finished second in the voting for ACC Player of the Year behind Alondas Williams of Wake.
So Duke with a ball handling lineup out there. Mark Williams out of the game. You've got the 6'10" Paolo Banchero, who can see over a defender, and he can run the baseline. You got the best free throw shooters, the best ball handlers out on the floor.
And a timeout. He couldn't get it in, so forced to use the last Blue Devils timeout.
Duke got some movement, but nobody came to the ball.
So the strategy continues into both huddles with 16.7 to go. Let's see why nobody got open.
There was movement, but nobody came to the ball until late when Moore made a break for it. But Paolo Banchero didn't want to take the risk that he couldn't get it in before it got to 5. Because once you get to 4, you can't call timeout after that.
So now each team is out of timeouts. Again, you got to have patience in the tunnel. You've been in that situation, right? Where you're just watching and waiting. They seem stressed.
Well, the watching and waiting is it's when you're out there and then it goes to overtime. Right. You got to go back in. That's always the killer. When you're waiting in the tunnel, you're like, I don't care who wins. Just get it over with it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're in the stands going, let's play more.
Banchero jogging out of the huddle. He's going to inbound it again for Duke. And again, remember, they are out of timeouts.
So Walker's going to try to be big on the ball, see if he can get a deflection. Actually, now he's going to face guard.
Into Griffin. And an immediate foul. Just 1 second comes off the clock.
Miami foul number 1, Anthony Walker. First personal.
Walker the foul, his first. Griffin to the line for the first time tonight.
He's a 76% free throw shooter.
Shooting 2 shots, AJ Griffin.
I'd probably rather back up and shoot a 3 than way he shoots threes.
Duke 15 of 19 from the line.
There's some gutsy free throws at the end of this game. Wendell Moore Jr. hitting, what, 4 of them, and Jeremy Roach stepping up and hitting a couple.
Well, he knew he left that one short. 4-point game, but only 14 seconds to go. Moore. Griffin down with a rebound. And they've got to foul him again, and now they can pretty much salt it away.
Number 2, Isaiah Wong. That's his 5th foul. Isaiah Wong checks in for Miami.
Isaiah Wong fouls out. Miami will hear their name called on Selection Sunday, and they're going to be a tough out. A veteran team with a lot of options at the offensive end, a disruptive style, and they gave Duke a real battle here tonight, but it looks like the Blue Devils will move on to the championship game.
And the free throw line, just a huge difference in the game.
They'll give Moore the layup. Now Moore actually stole it. I think that would have counted had it gone, but a 4-point win for Duke as they get pushed right to the end again. Second time in as many days for the Blue Devils, victorious again, beating Miami by a score of 80-76.
Well, Duke knocked their free throws down. Miami missed a few. Really well played game, but contributions all over. But how about the game Wendell Moore Jr. played?